Hello guys, welcome to another Erebos Gaming HD Fight Night video. Basically what we're going to be doing today is the same as I did with the Muhammad Ali, except we're going to be, showing Mike Tyson instead. So basically what I've got on screen is something a little bit different. It's just basically the pros and cons of playing as Mike Tyson. Basically it's just highlighting, he's got good power, his chin's pretty good. He ain't the best at long range and he is very stamina expensive, and your best punches to be thrown, are your body hooks and your uppercuts to the head. They're really, really effective. So basically I'm fighting a guy, Rocky Marciano. This guy was a bit talkative before the match, he wanted to fight, and this is basically how it went. So he's Marciano, which is a very similar fighter to Mike Tyson. He's a short range fighter and very much the same attributes as Tyson really. So I'm expecting this either to be a really big brawl or a really technical match. So it does turn out to be a technical match, which is good for you guys. This is not going to be one of the videos with multiple fights strung together. Even though I could have done that, I thought that this fight sort of sums up, playing Mike Tyson effectively in general. So I do try and wait here to see if the stats pop up, but then obviously it didn't pop up on me, so I assume it wouldn't for him, so I just skipped right on to it. He isn't a bad fighter though. He's got quite a high leave, sort of did not finish percent, but I don't know, that could be any reason. He could have a faulty net. We'll give him benefit of the doubt. So basically it's starting off and I'm just basically going with the sort of trying to get sort of jabs to the head and straights to the body, because I've got a reach advantage against Marciano, obviously, because I think he's 69 or 60 something reach and Mike Tyson 71, so you've got that little bit extra reach advantage. So you want to be taking advantage of that if you are against someone like Marciano. But this would be the same if I was against like Ali or anyone else, except if I was fighting somebody with a taller fighter, I'd probably be, more up in their face, just working on that body a little bit more. But what I'm trying to do is get them jabs onto him to sort of stop his combinations, and then I'm trying to get body hooks in there to just wear him down and get him as weak as possible, as fast as possible. Because Mike Tyson and Rocky Marciano have got that one punch sort of the sort of puncher's chance, no matter how weak you are. In the back of my mind, I'm obviously thinking I don't want to waste my stamina as Mike Tyson, because if I do, then the late rounds are going to be really, really hard for me. So I'm trying to throw as little as possible, and when I do throw, I'm trying to make sure that I hit him, and generally in the body to weaken him, obviously. So as you can see, it's quite a technical fight. I'm keeping away, I'm keeping my distance. I don't want to be, brawling with him at this stage, because I don't know how good he is at brawling. So I want to make sure that when we do get into a brawl that, I'm going to be, favoured, based on the stamina. So when I do get close to him, as you can see, I just unleash with hooks to the body. He's throwing a lot of jab straights. I think that's all he throws all fight. He threw a couple of hooks in there, but he literally just goes with the jab straight combo through the whole fight. Now that helps me out because I know my range is longer than his, so I can return with the jab straight combo and usually get the hits. I'm also going for a lot of counters as well. Counter shots with Mike Tyson are, especially useful because you've got good power anyway. So when you do catch him with them counters, you do mega damage with them. So if you can get counters with Mike Tyson, then that's good. Not only that, but also it's causing me to win the rounds, which is obviously demoralising him a little bit. Although, like I said in many other videos, I don't really mind about winning the rounds. But obviously, if you can, then it helps. Especially with the little amount that I'm throwing as well. Recovering 10% in that round was really, really helpful. And if you can do that with Mike Tyson, then go for it, because if you can keep your stamina, you're going to be really, really hard to beat. So as you can see, basically what you want to be doing with Mike Tyson is getting to the body, using them hooks on the body at every opportunity. Don't throw too many because you'll leave yourself weak, and then they're going to probably counter, because Mike Tyson, I found, is particularly weak to body shots himself. So you don't want to be getting into an exchange of body shots with someone like Marciano, because he will come out on top. He'll get more off, he'll get more hooks off, and as a result you'll end up with less stamina. So I'm only throwing to his body when I know I'm going to be able to hit and get away, and that's just sort of how this fight at the moment that's the sort of path it's taken. I can obviously tell you in advance that this is a knockout, but I'm still sort of treating this fight as if it's going to go to points, even though I know in my mind I don't want it to go to points. But he may be going for the points win. So I want to make sure that I'm ahead on points with a fight like this, you know, a technical fight. So as I said before, you know, you got to be aware that Mike Tyson's stamina and his power go hand in hand, well, as with all fighters. But you want to be keeping that stamina as high as possible, for obviously so you don't get tired, and so you can always throw them big shots that are gonna, you know, make him back away. So, you know, he gets a few good little hooks on me there, but, you know, you can see how much damage he did to my health with just those couple of hooks. You can imagine if I was a little bit weaker as Mike Tyson and not be able to get away from him, he would be able to knock me out quite easily. So, you know, you've got to be wary of that. I don't recover as much that round. There's a few reasons why. Mainly, one, I've got a cut, which doesn't help, so I've been a little bit more edgy than I normally would be. But you know, he has caught me with a few good shots to the head with them hooks, and obviously that's affecting my recovery rate. So basically, it's more of the same. I'm just using that jab. You want to be using your jab a lot as Mike Tyson. Don't just think you can just go in wailing. I mean, it will work quite a lot. You can just go in and just throw hooks and uppercuts. But if you can master the jab as Mike Tyson, then you're going to be much more effective. Which is another benefit, because you got quite good speed as well, so you can tend to get that jab off and a hook, and before they've even thrown a hook sometimes. As you can see there, I'm just making use of my, you know, really fast hand speed. I'm aware that my stamina is probably higher than his at this point, because obviously I've been landing more counters, I've been landing more shots to the body, whereas when he's hit me, he's tend to just hit me in the head, which is obviously taking my health away, not my stamina, which I don't really mind too much about. So that's another thing that I can't really teach you guys, and that's how to read your opponent and trying to gauge their stamina and health. That's just something that comes with time and experience. But if you can sort of count in your mind, like how many counters you've got on them and how many they've got on you, and if say they've got 3 counters on you that you're aware of and you've only got like 1 or 2, you want to make sure that you end that round with like 4 or 5, just to be sure that you've got more counters on them than they've got on you. And that's a fairly good way of gauging, you know, the who's higher on the stats, because counters do a lot. And if you have like miniature scuffles, as you can see, we sort of back away, then we meet up and have a little bit of a fight, then we back away and meet up. If you're coming out on top in most of those miniature little fights, then you're probably going to be ahead on your health and stamina sort of thing, unless you've been missing a lot of shots. So that's the sort of what you need to keep in the back of your mind when you're having fights, especially as technical as this. And if you can imagine if this was like a world championship fight and you were playing for the belt or something, you know, you'd want to be sort of ahead on your stamina and health. That's sort of number one, really. That's going to give you a big benefit. As you can see, I'm cut there, and that's probably due to those wild hooks he's been throwing. But he's cut as well, so you know, I'm not too fussed about that. But obviously I'm aware that if he catches me with a really good hook, he could probably, you know, put me on critical stun, which isn't good. So I'm obviously being a lot more defensive than I probably would normally be at round 4. But you know, it's still good for you guys to see, because this is the sort of way you'd have to fight if you're against most good players. If you're Mike Tyson, if you're fighting somebody that's not very good, you can walk in as Mike Tyson and pretty much trample over anyone. But if you're fighting someone that's quite good at the game, you don't really want to be putting yourself at risk. So you just want to be maintaining your stamina till the late rounds, and then knock them out, you know, later on. So as I said before, you know, you're going for your body shots, and those body shots have obviously been working a treat now, because almost every time we meet up, I can beat him to the punch. So that's just because obviously I've been working at his stamina for 3 rounds straight, and that's obviously a direct result of those sustained body attacks. So if you are playing as Mike Tyson, I'd focus on their body more than their head, because if you can weaken their body down in a couple of rounds, you're going to increase your chance of being able to hit the head, which is going to cause even more damage when you do. So it's almost like an investment. You've just sort of got to invest in the body shots, and it'll pay off near the end, for want of a cliche. So you can see the blood splattered around the ring. This is a pretty bloody fight. He's starting to throw just 2-shot combos now, and you know, just them odd power shots. That gives me another indication that he's getting low on stamina, and he's looking for that either 1-shot sort of knockout, or he's looking to just throw little tiny combos just to maintain his stamina. But I'm aware of that, so I'm just making sure when I do get him, I'm getting him in that body and some of these times you might not notice, but I am putting the power modifier on when I hit him with them straights to the body sometimes, and obviously that's really good because you're doing even extra damage to the body. So I think with Mike Tyson it's sort of an illusion that they can just go in and just knock people out. I think the really sort of good Mike Tyson players are aware of the body shot power, and that's why, you know, you tend to find people who are Mike Tyson tend to just go for your body a lot, if they know what they're doing. So he's coming at me again, and through the whole fight you'll have noticed that I've sort of made sure he's been on the front foot. I've always been on the back foot the whole fight, and that's enabling me to take even more advantage of my reach. And because he's moving more and he's the one being aggressive, you find that he's opening himself up to more counter shots, which, as you can see, I just got him with a couple body hook counters there, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage to him. And that jab to the head, right hook to the body is my favourite combination when I'm not Mike Tyson. I'll use that in every single fight when I'm Mike Tyson, and that's just a jab to the head and a hook to the body. There's a few ways you can do it depending on whether you use buttons or your analog, but if you just look up on the controls and just look up how to do each individual one, do it quick together, and you'll find that, you know, you're catching him with a lot of counters. So I'll put him down there. Now I know that obviously he's really weak. That was just body shots just to weaken him, and he actually fell down. So now obviously when he gets back up, he knows what's coming. I'm gonna be charging at him like a bull, and that's what you need to do as Tyson. You jump on them when they're weak. You know, you don't jump on them when they're powerful. You weaken them down and then jump on them when they're weak, and they will just be screwed. So I'm just hitting him to the body just to make sure that his stamina stays low, just so that he can't get one of them one-shot knockouts, and then he ends up falling again. So that's just sort of, you know, gives credit to how much, you know, body shots actually work as Mike Tyson. And this guy, you know, I think he finds it really hard to get up now. I don't even know if he does get up now, but either way, he didn't really have a chance because I was just focusing on that body so much. And if you do that with Mike Tyson, you know, you're going to have a good chance of winning most fights. And if you guys would like me to post a video up of just me fighting a long range fighter, I can. But if you look back through our archive of footage, you'll find me taking on Ali and Isaac Frost and all sorts with Mike Tyson, using a very similar strategy, although obviously if I'm fighting a longer range fighter, I'll probably be more up close and personal, trying to catch him on the ropes and stuff. But the same sort of combo, jab, hook to the body is the same, and your sustained body attacks will always be the same as well. So I hope you learned something, guys, and thank you for watching. If there's any fighter you'd like me to do next, then please let me know, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.